Hi there. In this screencast, I'm going to um, show you how to handle adding extra lives to your program. So and I might say, I wanted to say that the original screencast, for some reason, the audio didn't come through, so I'm re-recording it, and I'm using the video from the original screencast, but I'm going to dub this audio recording that I'm making right now. So there may be some pauses, like for example, right now, as I'm probably giving you the lead in to the code that I'm going to make. Okay, so it looks like I'm over in the My World class. I added a lives text object. I also added a lives remaining int variable, which is going to keep track of how many lives I have remaining, and then I've added this Boolean value called have added extra life. So those are instance variables at the top of My World. And now I'm going to go down into the constructor method, and it looks like I've initialized lives remaining to be 3. So I'm going to start my game with 3 lives remaining. And then I've created a lives text object for lives text, and I'm giving it a value of, for the text, lives remaining plus lives remaining. So I do that. I'm actually concatenating a string value to an int value there. And the reason I'm doing that is the constructor for a text object, this is one of them, requires a string value. So lives remaining is an int value, so I'm going to have to concatenate. All right, and then it looks like I added the lives remaining object to the world, 200 pixels from the right edge of the screen and 100 pixels down, and then I initialized the have added extra life variable to be false. I assigned it a value of false. So now I'm going down into the act method of My World, and I'm looking to see what code I had to add here. So I added this, let's see. I added this if statement right here that says if score equals 10 and haven't added extra life, not have it extra life, then add 1 to lives remaining and set have added extra life to be true. So the reason I'm using this Boolean variable is if I just say if score equals 10, lives remaining plus plus, well, it may be a second while the score is 10. So in that case, lives remaining is going to go up by 50. So because this is going to get executed over and over again. So I only want to have this executed one time. So by using this Boolean variable here, I will prevent it from being executed more than once, because once have added extra life is true, not have added extra life is false. Even this is true and false, you're going to get false. This whole thing the body of this conditional statement will not execute more than once. So that's the whole reason I have that going on right there. And now let's see, the screencast is moving on. Let's see, I'm just going to pause the audio, probably explaining what I just explained. Okay, now I'm going down to the conditional, the else. This is where the game state is finished, and we're checking for the key press to reset the game. So let's see. What did I do? I didn't do anything yet. It looks like. Okay, so I'm going to add lives remaining. I'm going to reset it back to being 3, not 0. Let's see if I correct this. I'm guessing I will. Yes, lives remaining is 3. Now, it looks like I didn't reset have added extra life back to being true, false, but I may run into a problem if I don't do that. So let's see if I corrected myself at some point in the screencast. Okay, so now I'm over in the Goose class. The Goose class is the one where the user controls, that the user controls, and it looks like I'm in the code for the collision, where I have if A, actor A equals get one object at offset, if A not equal to null, then now I have an if statement. Instead of just setting the world to game state to finished, I actually check to see how many lives are remaining. Lives remaining is a variable in the my world class, so I have to say world.lives remaining. So now I say, okay, he collided with something. If there are 0 lives remaining, then set the game state to finished, put in the directions for press start to add a new game, add the directions back to the world. Okay, otherwise, meaning there were more than 0 lives remaining at the time there was a collision, what do? I subtract 1 from the lives remaining. I update the lives remaining text object to being, I say world.liveStext.set text. So that now I'm going to have the new lives remaining value being displayed, and then I'm adding it back to the world. Now it turns out I actually don't need that world.add object. Just saying set text is enough. Initially I was not clear on that, but I have determined that you do not need to add the object to the world again. Okay, so now I'm down to 2 options. One of the options is to remove all chickens from the world instantly. So to do that, so that before the game restarts, I say world.removeObjects, and then in parentheses I say, looks like here I used getWorld.getObjects, and then in parentheses chicken.class. Now where it says getWorld, I could have also said world.getObjects chicken.class. So that's going to immediately remove all of the chickens from the world as soon as he collides with something. So let's see. All right. Okay, see how all the chickens disappeared instantly? So, and my lives remaining went down by 1. So that's one option. That's probably the easiest thing to do. Now, the other thing, if you want kind of realism and you want basically the chickens to keep on flying, then let's see. The other option to do, and looks like maybe I'm fixing some bug or some error in my code in the screencast. I'm not sure what I did there. Okay, oh, I know. I'm immediately updating lives.text in over in the My World class when after you add an extra life. Instead of doing it in the Goose class, I think I'm instantly doing it in the have added extra life, or over in My World. And that's just a choice. I think it wasn't happening as quickly as I wanted it to. So it seemed like there was a delay before the object got up, the text got updated. So I just, for a good measure, moved it over into where the score increases. And that's the beauty of having multiple classes. You can access variables of different classes from other classes. So that's what I'm doing here. In one case, I was getting it from the Goose class, and in the other case, I was accessing that label from the My World class. Okay, so now it looks like I'm just playing my game, checking to see if it works, and then it didn't look like it didn't work, so now I'm probably trying to figure out why. Yes, it did work. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the other option, and the other option when there's a collision is to, in my case, keep the chickens flying, not remove them from the world, but immediately set the chicken that has collided with the goose to being on the other side of the goose. So I do that by adding the line of code a.setLocation and then a.getX minus 100. So a.getX, a is the current .getX is the current position of the horizontal position of the chicken, and then minus 100 means subtract 100 from it. So that has the effect of moving the chicken that collides with the goose to the other side of him. And that allows kind of the game to continue on without the goose falling to the ground. Okay, so that's the other option. I think in a later screencast I show you maybe how to do a countdown, but those are two options before you add a countdown. Okay, I think the screencast ends in just a second, and I hope this was helpful and the re-recording was successful. It was.